What's going on, guys? It's Cadence. Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of the show. Today, I'm excited because I've got, for the first time, an artist I've actually been able to work with in some way. This is Annabelle Walker. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm actually so excited.
Well, let me give the listeners a little background first. So I've known Anna for like a year, probably a little over a year. And Anna is not only just the first country artist I've had on the show, but I'm also her photographer. So I'm very excited to have her on. She just released a new single. So Anna, can you tell us about that?
So my new single was released a little while back, but it is still going on. So it is called Montana Band. And about that song, I think I wrote about 4 years ago, I believe. I wrote it about one of my mom's friends who were going through a difficult time in a relationship. And it's a song about a relationship that did go down south. And all you want to do is kind of sit and wish it was the way it was before. Hence the beginning line, shooting doubles, waiting for you to come back, and we're causing lots of trouble on the soundtrack. And like, I'm so excited that this released. And I mean, it was a work in progress for a long time. Like I officially recorded it for a demo about 2 years ago, I think. And this year it just came into a reality thanks to my lovely producer, Seth Huff, his brother, Luke Huff, and my guitarist, Luke. I cannot pronounce his last name. I'm so sorry, Luke, if you are listening to this, but you are a god, and I really appreciate it for making that guitar solo a real thing. And it was just so surreal, even the whole recording experience for it. But I mean, if you guys are going through a hard time and you want to listen to a song about somebody who's sitting at a bar wishing everything was the same, that song is perfect for you. It is really good to add to your country playlist. I promise. I have 10 friends that have it on their playlist on Spotify, Apple Music. It's literally on everything. And on YouTube. It's on YouTube Music. And it's also on Instagram. So you guys should really listen to it.
Well, everyone's got to go listen to it because I love the song. It's one of those songs that does such a good job combining, country with that rock edge. It's great. So I know you said you wrote it about a friend of your mom's, but because obviously we're both young, but have you been able to relate that song to things in your life in the past?
Yes, I have, but not at a bar. So just clarifying, the song is not written about me. It is written in the first person, yes. But as an underage adult, but you cannot go to bars. I do not recommend it. So the song is literally just about relationships. I mean, there has been relationships that have gone south with me. Some people just leave out of nowhere, move to different states, and it's like, okay, bye. And I was like, oh, cool.
And well, that's,
okay.
I think it's something everyone can relate to. Like that's what makes a song good is, everyone can take it, make it their own or whatever. I want to talk to you about being a country singer in Nashville. It's the country capital of the world. What's it like releasing a song while you're just surrounded by country? Like, what is there kind of some pressure you feel with that?
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure. I will not even lie to you. I mean, because we go to Belmont. There are so many amazing artists I know there. I've listened to some of their songs. There are some country artists too. It's not like I'm competing with them, but sometimes it feels like you are a little bit. But then since you're also in the country capital basically of the world, you have all these amazing artists that you can get inspiration from. You can go down to the Row, which is one of my favorite places, and listen to live country music and live music that'll play rock, pop, literally anything, and you just get so much inspiration from everyone. So it's more of a helping hand. Like, I've met a lot of people who are like, hey, I'm willing to help you out with this. Do you want to join and just participate, and I'll help you get to where you need to be. The country music industry is very different than the pop industry. It's much more supportive. Everyone's kind of a family, and everyone wants to give you a little boost and help you step up to the plate and get where you want to be.
And that's really good to hear because I've always said that country and rock are, cousins. I mean, that's the rock world is the same. It's just one big family and everyone helps each other. That's one thing I love about it so much. Could you mention again who you were able to work with on this song? Because that's really cool.
So not my first producer. He was my guitar teacher. We recorded it at Los Rios Rock School in Orange County, because I was learning guitar at the time, and I was like, you know what? Let's just mess around because I only have a few weeks left before I got to go to college. Just mess around with it. And Spencer Askin was my guitar teacher, and he was also part of our. He was a teacher for our Orange group, which was a little band that we got to play together and whatnot. And he's really cool. So Spencer, if you're listening to this, thank you for everything. But he, I don't know, we just sat down and we recorded a demo. He played the guitar part for it, and I was like, oh my god, that guitar solo is exactly what I need. This is perfect. I need that. And so we recorded that demo, and I didn't think it was going to be possible until I met one of my friends, Luke. It starts with an M. I cannot pronounce it. It's so bad. But I met Luke, and then I met Seth, and Seth had a house, and he went to Belmont. We recorded that song up in his room, which was like basically the attic, and so we got all the same sound, and it was perfect. So it was with Luke, his brother, Luke, his brother Seth, and another Luke. So I had two Lukes on my
That's
on my
awesome.
side for it.
That's awesome. And I know because I've seen you live, you've been able to play your new single a couple times, even despite COVID. So what kind of gigs have you been able to be getting?
So I haven't really gotten anything out here yet because I'm still testing the waters. I think I'm going to try and head down to Mexico with one of my friends because she owns a hotel business down there. And she's like, I want you to play down there, play live music. And I'm like, honestly, I'd totally be down to do that. I have a lot of originals that are in the works. But you'll be able to find me at Belcourt and 404. And it really just depends where. But I'm playing one of my new favorite songs called Modern Day Outlaw. And it is really, really good. And I think I'm going to record that in July when I come back. So keep an eye out for that one. But I'm hopefully going to start working on an album. So that is going to be really cool. So you guys should pay attention and follow my Instagram at Annabelle Walker Music, and I will be mentioning my album ideas.
I was going to ask, 'cause I know I've kept up with you, obviously, and I was going to say, I know you have big stuff coming up. Like, can you talk more about that, or is it all secret?
It's not totally secret. It's just trying to figure out the works. I still need to meet with the person I'm talking to and really pinpoint what I want to do. Because I unfortunately left my acoustic guitar out in Tennessee because I do not recommend flying with a guitar on Delta. So, yeah, so I mean, I'm in LA, he's in LA. I think I'm going to meet with him sometime within a couple weeks and just really pinpoint some ideas down. I sent him Modern Day Outlaw. He's like, mess around with it on electric guitar. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been slowing down the tempo. I already have like an idea of what I want to be on that album setup, but it's just trying to pinpoint the perfect songs. Because in the country music industry, you have to tell a story. There are some really, really good songwriting albums out there that tell a story, and you just have to go with it and really pour your heart out into it, but you can't make them too depressing. You have to also have some really fun ones in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can we expect a similar sound to the single you just released?
Yes, but there will be more coming too. I do have a very distinct voice, and I mean, as you know that too from when you first came to my first ride around at Belcourt. I have this growl in my voice that when I get really into something, you can hear, like, I'll get really sassy with it, and
yeah,
I'll just
for
let it
sure.
go. And definitely that song Modern Day Outlaw will bring out that side of just sassiness and really fun aspect to it, and that's a bruiser right there. In the words of Matt Greer, that's a bruiser.
Well, that's so awesome, and it's so great to see other young people. My last guest, Miles Claiborne from Saul, he's also a pretty young guy. It's so cool to see, the next generation of, who might be the next Jason Aldeans or the next Bon Jovis or whatever. And it's so cool to see the young people up and coming. So it's great. If you could picture yourself in an ideal, music, like where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? That's what I'm asking, really.
In 5 years? Okay, in 5 years, I'll like be 23, I think, or 24. I don't know. That's scary to think about when you look at it because I just turned 19. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's that's coming up. um, but my ideal situation is hopefully, even though like it's still young, I want to be signed with a record label or an independent record label and just be able to release my own songs, really have the time of my life. I want to go on tours. As you know, I've told you this a couple times. I said I really want to go on tour. I want to be like selling merch. I want to be making really good connections in the industry. I want to go golfing with some artists because even though I'm
Yeah.
not good at golf, I'm making it a goal of mine to go golfing with Hardy, Morgan Wallen, Jason Aldean is a very high number up there. And I mean, I'm just fascinated with the music industry, and I just want to be there a little bit earlier, even though you could fizzle out. But I mean, just keep throwing in curveballs and keeping everyone on their feet is what I'm going to try and be doing in 5 years.
That's good. And I know you're talking about Aldine and Hardy. And would you consider them some of your inspirations, or are there other people too that you'd put in there?
I mean, 100%. All Jason is one of my biggest inspirations. Morgan Wallen and Hardy. I think when Hardy came into the picture about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that's what really sparked my interest because he was strictly a songwriter before he went into the label side of it, and it just fascinated me because I look around at all these talented people I work with. As you know, Olivia Fontaine, like one of my best friends, she's a songwriter, and she's like, I'm just going with the flow, see what I'm doing, and I just want to mess around with it. Like, she's just like, I just want to have fun, and she's also one of my biggest inspirations
Mhm.
because I don't like she just writes so many good songs, and it hits a little different when you're listening to it in person. But I mean, also Miranda Lambert is one of my idols there too, because all of her songs kind of tell a story. The House That Built Me, I remember listening to that song when my family first sold our house that I grew up in and I moved. And I listened to that song on repeat every single day of my
Mhm.
entire life because I was like, it was the house that built me into like who I was, and it just tells a story. And so she's a very, very creative. Um, I mean, I'm a fan of Kelsey Ballerini. She has some good songs, but I mean, I wouldn't call her a super big inspiration of mine, but she did spark my interest in being a female artist. And then Ian Munsick. No one really knows who he is, but Ian Munsick is one of my biggest inspirations because he has that old Western kind of feel, but it's
Mhm.
not totally like old Western. It's very new country, but it's also with a side of old country, and it's just his voice is so soothing. I cannot talk today. Soothing, and it's uh, just amazing. I mean, you have so many great artists out there, and you can grab inspiration from every single one of them.
And that's took the words right out of my mouth. That is such a good way of putting it. Guys, you're gonna want to keep up with Annabelle Walker because she's got big stuff coming soon. Great friend of mine, dude. Thank you so much for hopping on.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so glad I got to answer some of your questions. And this was a really fun podcast.
Well, we'll do part two when you release another song or when your album drops.
I will let you know that because I have some details to talk to you about in July.
Sweet. Well, we'll see you then. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you.